Welcome to season 22. I got to show you what's been happening to our new guy, Chad Daniels. Since we left off, remember there was this guy on the last... what are my friendship tags still on there? Remember we introduced you to this guy that we saw in Kill Tony that William Montgomery was trolling? This is very similar, very in line to all the stuff you saw with this Matan. Do you remember Chad Daniels? I'm going to show you just a quick... I hope you remember Chad Daniels. I hope you remember this. Here he was with William Montgomery on Kill Tony. This caused a big stir. Here's Chad. Remember, he wasn't understanding William's shtick. There he is, looking very confused. We love this look at Redbar. Boy, do we love this Gen X look. We'll play you just a bit of this from that episode. You saw this on the last Redbar. Here you go.
Read. I don't know if people know that. That's probably
it's my thing.
My cups.
Stressed.
Chad, have you seen William before?
I haven't.
How are you, Chad?
I'm great.
Cool.
What? Gen X.
What do you do? Are you a comedian or what do you do?
Oh my God, William!
No.
Why do you do that to the guests?
I've never
That's
met
what I
you.
forgot
We've
to
never
tell you guys
fucking
earlier.
met.
It's okay.
I mean, remember when I said
okay.
I
We've
feel like I'm
never
forgetting
met.
something? What I forgot to tell you guys was sometimes.
Okay, Tony, are you a comedian was the line. Now, on the last episode, I said, guys, let's try something. Let's try a test. Let's all go to Chad Daniels' Instagram, and we're not going to do Red Bars watching. We're not going to do you're under investigation. Let's try William's line, are you a comedian? And I said, let's try his line because I bet you if 100 people start going on Chad Daniels' page, this was fresh after the incident, and you all say, are you a comedian? The Kill Tony fans will see that and think it's something that all the Kill Tony fans must be doing and join in. You're not going to believe it. That exact thing actually happened. Yes, thank you. It happened. All the Kill Tony fans saw the Red Bar comment saying, are you a comedian? They assumed this was Kill Tony-based light ribbing, and they all joined in, burying Chad Daniels in tens of thousands of "Are you a comedian?" comments across all platforms. Did I have a tape of that? Did I have here?
Oh, I think you said you had it on your phone, but there was also a Reddit post
So
about
look
it.
at this. It made it to Reddit. Chad Dick Daniels' latest Instagram post. I love this group. Oh, it's missing here. Is that on purpose? Was this deleted before?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, no,
but
no,
I think
no.
they just said something like, you can still read the comments.
Yeah, do we have his Instagram, the link to his Instagram? I would like to see his Instagram post that we all attacked, remember? Is that what they were linking to?
I think so.
Okay.
They were referencing the "Are you a comedian?" comments.
Okay, so the "Are you
That's
a
why I
comedian" thing
included
blew
it.
up, but I want to see his Instagram post from that day, the one that we sent everybody to show how crazy that became. The "Are you a comedian?" comments flooded I mean, really, it was as far as you could scroll. Let's see those.
This is the post, I think. I sent you the specific one.
More specific. Here we go. Chad Daniels, come on down. Here it is. Okay, so yeah, he was posting this stupid clip, and let's check it out. Let's check out the work. Here's Anon Pakad, first comment. You a comic? Why do you think it's funny enough to spill the liquor? Okay, I couldn't even do an impression. I see the guy. Okay, what's going on here? Did he delete all this?
No, all the comments are saying, "Are you a
okay.
comic?"
Are you a comedian? What, a comedian? Is this comedy or some boomer trying to rap? Do you do comedy or something? The big red machine demolished you.
See, no Red Bar listener would be like, the big red machine
Exactly.
demolished.
Bodied by the big red machine.
They
So we
killed
got
Tony.
the
I
ball
saw this.
rolling. It really worked, and all the Kill Tony fans jumped in thinking our comments were like Kill Tony fans doing it. Is this stand-up comedy? Are you a comic? Genuine question. Is comedy in the room with us right now? Who funded your comedy career? Are you a comic or something? over and over and over and over and over. We made a video showing the thousands of comments. I mean, they really keep going over and over and over. This got, does it say how many comments this one got? Let's go to his page. Which one was that, Jules? Do you remember
That's
here?
one with 253 comments.
253, and he usually gets, what is he usually? Oh, 48, yeah. 48, 62, 33, 70, 36, 72, 26, 8. So, yes, it started picking up here. 253. This spilled over 194. Even this one got 432. This might have been the one that I'm talking about. Yeah, here we go. Are you a comedian? 432 comments. Is this comedy? I didn't know you were a comic. Are you some kind of funny guy or something? Joined you on Kill Tony. Okay. Are you a comedian? You're not a comic, are you? Is this supposed to be comedy? I thought Daniel sang for Creed. This is just sad. I mean, just over and over again. There's probably 13 nice comments out of the 432, and then it really spilled over. It gets better, though. So this worked. He's buried in the comments. Everywhere he looks, he's buried in the comments. But he decides to talk about his experience and tell us exactly what we were all thinking, confirming everything plus more. Would you like to hear Chad Daniels talk about the experience we showed you on the last Red Bar? It's amazing. And we dug into Chad Daniels. He's incredible. He's incredible. He's so crazy. 100 times worse than we thought. So scary. He does this podcast with his girlfriend. Is it his wife or girlfriend?
I think girlfriend.
Girlfriend, who's also a comedian. Totally crazy. He was on Something's Burning with her. We got all the best stuff. Wait till you see Chad Daniels. We're going to go to this one, Red Bar Wild. Oh, wait. Look what happened, though, before. So we covered William Montgomery and Chad Daniels. Look what I got, Red Bar in the Wild here. Now, this is funny. William Montgomery messages me saying, "How's it going, good sir? Hope all is well. Is there some sort of clip I could watch? Looks like Red Bar was talking about me shitting on the Chad Daniels guy on his latest show. I saw your comment." Now, it's so funny. He actually messaged the wrong Mike David on Instagram. We actually have a listener with the same name as me. And he messaged the other listener, Mike David, hoping that it was me.
But maybe that guy commented on one of William's things and he's saying saw your comment, so he just didn't make the connection. It's a coincidence that that guy's name was Michael David.
That's very weird, though, that we even have a listener named Michael David, and it's his real name. That's pretty insane. Now, did that guy find me from searching his own name and then just saw this other guy with the same name and started listening to the show? Is that how you became? But anyways, William Montgomery's messaging. He wants to know what's going on. And then things get good. Chad Daniels does an entire podcast about William and the incident. And we're going to hear everything he thought. It's amazing. Is it only on Spotify?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
But I pulled it up already, so just tell me when you want to play.
Oh, you're going to play it over there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do we have a picture of Chad Daniels? Maybe I could put on the screen. Let's get his Instagram up here so we could have some visual. Let me find his shittiest photo. He does a lot of videos, huh? I want to find a real shitty. Oh, that's a good one, but that's a video. He does this bullshit comedian clip thing where they're burying you in these clips. Endless clips with the words. Here he is. Nope, that's very small, Chad. Ooh, is he ugly? This one, he's really ugly. Here we go. That works for me. Well, this lady's involved. We shouldn't have her on the screen. Innocent woman. Let me find... I like an ugly picture of my fools when we're doing stuff like this. Unfortunately, he has a lot of video. Here we go. I'll take this one. There he is. He looks like complete shit, and this is his girlfriend. Just as guilty. Wait till you meet her. All right, take it away. Let's hear the first clip. Chad Daniels talking about our whole situation here.
This podcast is brought to you by Aura. Hackers
Aura watch?
just executed one of the largest
Aura watches?
safety toolkit, which includes credit and transaction monitoring, virus protection,
Okay,
a
go to the part.
VPN, a
There you go.
password manager,
Did
parental
still ad is still
controls.
happening.
Oh,
and
we're
more.
listening to an ad
For a
built in.
limited
Got it.
time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day
Are we or no?
trial plus
I mean,
a
you were
check of your
controlling
data
it,
and
so-
transaction monitoring, virus protect, all for free with certain terms.
There we go. Chad Daniels. Now, is this on his wife's
Hey everybody,
show?
this is Chad Daniels, and
No,
you have
this is
landed
a different one.
Different
somewhere.
podcast.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming back. Across from me, as always, is Cyrus Amundsen.
And across from me, fresh off.
Okay, come on.
The debut.
Wow,
of
that was
his
annoying.
first Netflix
Who is
special,
that? Pause
Empty
that.
Nester.
You're gonna have to
Fresh
do the
off
pausing.
The Joe.
This is Cy Amundsen.
Cy Amundsen. Let's send a target on his back somehow. That was uncalled for. That was the most annoying thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Okay, go. Go. I mean, roll it.
Rogan podcast where he was on another podcast where a guy talked a lot and mentioned conspiracy theories. Fresh off an appearance on
This guy's
Kill
driving me
Tony,
nuts.
which is the show that I'm most curious about given my best friend's demeanor versus that type of show. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the moment.
This guy's killing me.
Chad Daniels, tell me about it. Tell me, what a whirlwind.
It has been.
We've talked it now, and everybody's like, I don't care if you guys have talked about it. We haven't heard about it. We're going to talk about the special. We'll talk about all that stuff. But the one thing I haven't asked you is we haven't talked about Homicide Tony, America's
Tony
fastest
Hinchcliffe.
growing and fastest growing live podcast.
This guy is awful.
Yeah,
He's unbearable.
It's the biggest live podcast in the world.
Here's Chad.
It is just sold out 2 shows at Madison Square Garden.
And
MSG.
I think everybody knows what it is, but for those who are not familiar, it's comics who come up and they do 1 minute of material, and then Tony Hinchcliffe and his panel of celebrity guests give feedback, and
You're a
spoiler
celebrity.
alert, they aren't super chill about it.
Excuse me?
Most of the time, but sometimes they are. Tell me, what was it like for you, guy
pause real
who...
quick? This is like
both
doing
can
a show
deliver
with, I can't do this. I'm going to have to do the pause
You
myself.
have Spotify.
Yeah,
oh,
I
'cause
was
you're
going to say,
zooming in.
this is like how the other shows do it, where they listen and they just go pause.
Okay, now I'm super ready this time, but I know it's annoying to say pause.
How about I go, well, I've never done this. This is pretty cool. This is like how all the other shows do it, right? You got a guy, he doesn't touch no mouse. He don't do no work. It's pretty cool. You just sit here. God, it would be so easy if I didn't have to control anything. That's a whole nother thing these guys are doing. Okay, yeah, play it.
burn, but I remember when I was coming up at Acme, you were the changing force to me. For me, like the first person that I was like, oh, I didn't realize all the comics in the back of the room who were good at this weren't giant dick faces.
Yeah, it was an interesting show to be on. Now, I was there with Sam Morrill, and thank God.
That's the greatest.
Thank God.
Because he and I have been friends forever. I don't really... I'd met Tony. I'd met Red Band, but I don't know them. We never sat down. We never hung out socially. And
Look
so,
at his face.
I wish I would have known more about the show. So this is a lesson to everybody. If you're going to be on a podcast, watch it. Watch through some episodes and figure out what's happening, because so I obviously didn't want to be mean. There was a guy that came out with
William.
cerebral palsy,
Oh, not William.
and he did a great
Blue?
job. No.
Different guy.
This guy named Martin, and I thought he's
Martin
very funny.
Phillips.
He did a nice job with his jokes. But then at the end, he's like, they're asking him questions, and he goes, yeah, I was down in Florida. I was driving from gig to gig in Florida. And so I just want to make sure I understand what's happening. You were driving. And then he like lost his mind on me.
Wow.
He's like, oh, you
Remember this?
motherfucker. You don't think I can drive? I'm like, you just had to put your hands in your pocket so they weren't flailing around. So I'm just curious of how, I'm not saying you can't drive. I want to know how it works.
Yeah.
And then he's just real furious with me. Everyone, I think what's happened with this show that I didn't know about is once you become a regular, you kind of have the way that you gain your respect. It's like And by the way, I'm not comparing myself to the toughest guy in prison, but it really is the thing where it's like you go to the biggest guy in prison and you punch him in the face.
No.
Then everyone leaves you alone or whatever.
So, no, I disagree. That is not like that. That is like, well, Jules, I didn't need to pause there.
Sorry, I thought
I
you
was
gave
still
me
listening.
a look.
Oh,
There's
no.
a lot of that
This
stuff
is
where I'm
really
like,
weird doing
just
this
ask you a
without the
fucking
controls.
question. Calm down.
I have
Because
to
what
do
I
the
wanted to
controls
say was
myself.
a
I
whole
mean, this
bunch of
is-
mean shit
Pause
after
that!
that.
This is far too foreign to me. Here, watch this. You bring this here, and I'll do them right here. That's way too foreign. You're making me feel like a pleb. Like a nigga! Yeah, this is way easier. Okay, Chad Daniels, back to him, and you could just, you could cue up the time codes, though, after.
That ad at the beginning fucked all my time codes up, but they keep talking about it for like 10
okay.
minutes straight, so
There
there's
we go.
not really, just
Great,
keep listening.
I got it.
But then but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to like make fun of someone with cerebral palsy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so that's how it started.
Great start.
And then I just kind of shut my fucking mouth after that. I just kind of sat there and I was like, yeah, nice work. Good going. And then this guy came out at the end with long red hair and a long red beard.
William.
And I was just watching him. And then the next thing I knew, he was yelling in my face where
Listen
I
to
could
this.
see the foam in the corners of his mouth.
For what reason?
I guess that's his thing. Sometimes, like when it's not going well, he'll just go after the guy that's sitting at the end of the table, and I happen to be that guy. But
You
he was
hear
like,
this, William? So that's what he thinks of you. When it's not going well, he'll just yell at somebody. And I could see, he was losing it. So he thinks William did this. He actually snapped. And that he was just doing this because he didn't know what else to do.
I could kick your fucking ass. I'll kick your fucking ass right now. And I'm like, just looking at him like, no, you won't. But then I'm also thinking there are cameras pointed at me, and this goes out to so many people.
Listen to this guy.
A lot of people.
So I just sat there for a little bit, and at one point his voice got real high, so then I started mimicking his voice.
Love it.
And then he got real mad again, because I was kind of waiting for him to punch me. And then after the show, Tony was like,
I mean, William was doing like 100% routine, a bit, an act on a comedy show. And you really thought he was going to punch you? You were taking this real serious?
remember when I said I'm forgetting one thing? He goes, that was it. I forgot to tell you that he does that. And then that guy came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey man, this is kind of my thing. I go, well, it's not mine. It's not my fucking thing. I don't appreciate getting yelled at.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's like, but here's the thing. I know this got a little crazy, but you just got to understand, no hard feelings. My thing is pulling my dick out in the deli meat section at the grocery store. It's just like my thing. You know, I don't mean to make it about you.
This guy needs to
I
die.
actually think I have heard of someone whose thing is pulling out their private parts
We've heard
in
of
front of other people.
Many people.
Maybe someone we'll talk about soon.
Ooh. Now, can you get me a picture of this co-host?
Yes.
I need to see what this guy
Eamonson.
looks like. This guy is the absolute pits.
Your experience in the deli meat section is just my thing.
Yeah, I like to say, hey, can you tell me what that says so you get your head in the case? Then I mash my dick on the glass,
This guy.
and then I yell, slice it, motherfucker.
This is Chad Daly's 50
Put it on
cents.
the deli meat scale and weigh it.
Your Honor, I know everybody. I know you got all these jurors. I know the lawyers.
Does
have
it say how many views this has anywhere on there? No? Okay.
suits on. You're in your robe. I need you to understand. Killing my wife is just my thing. It's just my thing.
Okay, nerd.
It's what I do.
Yeah, it's it is. Well, I mean, obviously, case dismissed.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was just what you did. I thought you freaked out. I didn't know it was what you did.
Thank you.
But it was very.
You got to see a
It
pic
was
of this
like
guy. I can't take it.
if
Oh, you got to see the guy?
He's a seminar presenter.
Let's see him. Send him over.
I texted you.
I can't wait to see. Because, yeah, he's like really bothering me. Oh, my
I
God.
don't.
He's even worse than I could have dreamt.
I literally gasped.
He
out
needs to
loud.
be set on fire. He needs to be set on fire. Look at this guy. Wait, we got to find. So he's, what did you call him? A seminar?
Because that picture, look right there, seminar presenter.
Seminar presenter. Look at his graveyard. His teeth. Look at those teeth. One longer than the next. Wow. So he's even more vulgar than we could have even imagined. And he's a comedian. This is not happening. Oh, he's terrible. He's just awful. I don't think he's a seminar presenter. I think that was from
He
a
has
sketch.
been.
I think that was a sketch, but he is repulsive. Ruby repulsive, I would like to call him. Look at this guy. I mean, really, I think he tried to take Trump's life a few weeks back. He's that type of guy. Okay, let's go back to Chad and him talking. It's good to put a face to that guy.
Rory Scovel's family left him,
Excuse me?
and he was just super angry, and yeah, I just didn't know what to do. I wish I would have known that, so I could have just sat back and enjoyed it. But it felt like an actual. It put me in fight or flight, and
Fight or flight.
I'm telling you this: if there would not have been cameras, and there only
Listen to
would
this.
have been
A live show.
people that could have told the story, I definitely would have come out of retirement and put one on his temple.
Put one on his... If there weren't cameras, Chad Daniels would have put one on his temple, you heard? You would have punched William Montgomery for doing a comedy bit. A very light comedy bit. We all saw this. Go back, watch last week's Red Bar. If you haven't heard this, come back to this. Because, I mean, this is crazy. This is even worse than I would have thought. I thought we were putting words in his mouth with how he felt. Remember, I was giving my opinion of how Chad Daniels felt. Now he's saying, let's hear that again.
Fight or flight, and I it's like, I'm telling you this: if there would not have been cameras, and there only would have been
A live show.
people that could have told the story, I definitely would have come out of retirement and put one on his temple.
You hear this, William?
Because
So
like you
he's
don't
done this
fucking
before.
lean over somebody and scream in their face that you're gonna kick their ass. I mean, and then he's like,
never did that.
You know, he goes and he tours, and because of this show, some of these comedians have made huge names for themselves. Like
successful.
Cam Patterson was on
Hans
there, and now
Cam.
he's selling out shows. Yeah. And so, and by the way, I enjoy Cam quite a bit. I like him as a human being and all that stuff. But yeah, this guy is just like
William, sweet William.
it just doesn't feel like comedy. It felt like performance art, and no one let me in on the joke. So then I felt like I became the butt of it, and I was not thrilled about that.
Whoa!
Oh my God. Everyone else had to let themselves in on the joke, by the way.
Yeah. Isn't this something? Not in my wildest dreams did I think he was actually this twisted. Let's hear some more.
You've said something to me before. You and I are very different, where I think you're more willing to get in like old Chad especially. But I think if the two of us were in the exact same situation and somebody, you know, it's Family Feud, which of these, I don't think that Family Feud reference works, but you're voting, it's a poll. Which of these men is more likely to engage in a violent exchange? I think you're getting those votes. But I will say I admire your ability to be in those situations, because I think you and I both know, and we don't have to reveal the situation, but you've not brought me to a thing because I think that's a great example of, I don't know how I would handle myself in that situation, but I know it wouldn't be pleasant. And I'm not saying I wouldn't win. I think I'd ultimately lose and something not great would happen to me. But I think I would, like, in that whole
You're doing a post game about a fight that didn't even happen to you.
Exactly. I was going,
Shut
you're
up.
fantasizing if this would have happened to you. You could barely fucking speak. I mean, really, talk about cerebral palsy. Really, Chad Daniels, what are you doing? You're paying this guy? Is anybody listening to this show? There can't be.
Like, I think I become real unpleasant in a not cool way.
Yeah, I think that I was real close when I started mocking the tone of his voice.
Oh. Yeah.
I think I was real close to coming unhinged, and then I put my mic down in the little holder and I let it
Sat
ride out
back.
because I was like, okay, now you are letting yourself become the butt of the joke.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're participating in a way that's probably kind of what the guy does. He draws
Imagine
you
what
in,
he's
and
going to
then-
do when he finds out about the Redbar coverage. I mean, if the lighthearted bit on Kill Tony that William did bothered him, imagine how much this is going to bother him. You know, we haven't heard from Chad Daniels. We haven't heard from him. I was expecting a knock on my DMs. Nothing.
Oh, I'm sure, but here's the thing: he knows he can't get punched in the fucking face. I'm telling
Fucking
you,
face.
like this dude needed my forehead in his teeth, like no one has ever needed that before. Just
This dude needed my forehead in his teeth like no one has ever needed. Are you like fully autistic?
No one has ever needed it before in your entire life. That's the most contentious
And look,
things have
remember,
gotten.
guys, look at this guy's face saying this. This is an older man. This is Chad Daniels. Mike's Chad Daniels. Me. Let's hear that again about the forehead and the teeth.
Probably kind of what the guy does. He draws you in, and then you're.
Oh, I'm sure, but here's the thing: he knows he can't get punched in the fucking face. I'm telling you, like this dude needed my forehead in his teeth.
William, you
like
hearing
no
this?
one has ever needed that before.
Yeah.
Just to let him know, write a joke, dude. Write a joke.
Wow.
You don't just scream at other human
Yes,
beings in their.
you fucking do. Our version of jokes is screaming at another human being. That's it. Otherwise, I mean, a regular joke is lame to us now. We need more. We need violence.
And why didn't you say this to his face then?
Why? Yeah, this
You
is all
just
fantasy.
huffed
This
on
is all.
home and then...
You sat there like this. Oh, because the cameras were there, Jules. That's why.
yeah.
He didn't want to,
Otherwise,
be
the teeth
unprofessional.
and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Got it.
And I'm here to tell you, if you're listening, guy with red hair and long beard,
William
He's
Montgomery.
not.
I actually think you should. I don't know that you need to write a joke. I've been on the internet for a while now. I think nobody's cornered the standing over other grown men you don't know and screaming that you can beat them up. And I think you should just keep testing that limit. And
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's your thing. And Chad, let me tell you something about comedy.
These
First
two
of
are
all,
terrible.
it's called comedy business, not comedy friendship. And this guy has a business plan. And I'm sorry that you were on the receiving end of that. But
Sure.
maybe
That
if
makes sense.
you weren't, and I say this to you with a lot of love, and then I'd love to switch topics, speaking of love. I say this with a lot of love. Maybe if you weren't such a little beta boy, everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Maybe if you weren't such a little beta boy and you trafficked with the alphas over here with me, the hoof, hoof, hoof.
What are you
Yeah,
getting to
who
here?
let the
This
dogs
is
out?
odd.
We did.
Yeah,
Because we're
that's
not
true.
scared of the dogs. The point is,
Because a lot of you alphas, you
Thank
have
you,
that little
us alphas.
plus. You have that little plus symbol going for you.
yeah.
And I'm a beta bitch, and I have the
What are you
negative
saying?
symbol. So I attract you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And while I would want to
Opposites
hang out
attract.
with other
Are you pretending it's opposite day and it's the opposite of what you're sarcastically saying? Because it's not. I think that's what he thinks he's doing. No, you are the beta. William is the alpha. Your friend needs to be
Right.
that friend, this podcast co-host, right? Might start picking on
I
him
mean,
now,
if there weren't
Chad.
cameras here right now, I would.
Chad. Imagine your name being Chad.
bitches. I can't because our negative signs, when they get close to each other, they push us
push each
away.
other
So
away.
I have no choice but to go to you. Now, I do want to
That's
say
the
one thing
origin
before we
story of
switch
the
topics.
podcast. That's the origin
I
story
do
of the
wanna- yeah,
podcast.
that's
so
true.
you're such a beta, and I was such an. People don't know this. That was the original.
You would think this is like a Dabbleverse show with like how unhinged and stupid this
There's
is.
also another guy on this podcast that's just sitting there silent.
Oh,
with
really?
His hands like
Really?
No, but
Oh.
that's what it would be if it was the dabble.
Yes, of course. A guy that we don't really know, but he's been around.
That was the original title of this podcast. It was called Beta Loves Alpha.
Oh, I thought we did ABCs because it was alpha for you, beta for me, and cunt for Justin.
Yeah, cunt for Justin. Yep, that's
what I thought it was.
ABC.
ABC.
Yeah,
Justin.
ABC. And honestly, I think we should rebrand. What was the last thing you wanted?
Stop goofing
And then
around.
I think that
also,
was
just
pretty
to be
much it.
fair,
Oh, wait.
Let's
see if he
one
said-
more. Yeah, I think he wraps it up with this.
Justin wasn't with us immediately, so we know who the C was for. Now, so the thing I do want to say is, I told you in the beginning, I didn't watch this podcast like I should have. I am taking responsibility for that. And I also don't know if this guy...
You've never watched Kill Tony, the #1 live comedy podcast in the world. As a comedian, never checked it out. Not interested in this giant show everyone's talking about. As a comic, not interested at all. Never checked it out. Didn't even know what it was about. It's cool.
writes jokes too. I don't know much about him other than my first experience with him is which he screamed in my fucking face. So maybe he has a bunch of jokes and maybe he was just sick of them. No. I don't know.
You
but
are
I
the
will
joke.
tell you, not into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
when one of
into
the
it.
male comics is bringing girlfriend energy, sometimes you got to step up to them and put them in their car seat and drive them home while they take a nap, metaphorically.
Stop. We're coming
That's what
for you.
alphas do,
We are
Chad.
coming
And
for that co-host.
I
wouldn't know anything about that. I come from a long line of betas.
That is
Yeah, you do.
100% true.
Except my mom. My
Not
mom
me.
is an alpha.
I come from this extreme lineage of alphas. You know that. You know all about us. So I spent last week up north with my family. Okay. Speaking
Was
of
that
alphas, let me tell you.
There it is. Chad Daniels. Can you believe what we found? Can you believe this guy? And it gets worse. You must see. Let me drag him back. What's our next Chad Daniels piece here? Did we have?
You don't have to do all of this. Something's burning, but I just wanted to show this one part.
Of course.
Are you telling me that the Easter Bunny is not only real, but he's going to show up every day?
Bert Kreischer, everybody. And it's Something's Burning with Chad Daniels and his girlfriend, who I cannot believe isn't completely sickened and horrified by him, only leading me to believe that she must be just as bad, if not worse. We'll find out. What do we got here? What's our code?
You can go to... Okay, I'm just going to skip the rest of them, but go to 3730.
Okay.
His friend was just like, oh, imagine if it was some guy's thing to be pulling out their junk just for fun. Well, just hear this story.
Wow. So, yes, on that last podcast we listened, he was talking about how absurd that would be and how that wouldn't work, right? Pulling out. Remember that? He compared William's behavior to some guy at the deli counter. Did he say something about a deli counter pulling his dick out and putting it against the glass in public or something like that?
In public.
Okay. Let's hear this.
Guy's going to have nut jokes.
Yeah, Ian Bag. Yeah. I went through a phase where I would pull my balls out.
Excuse
And I'd
me.
have my shirt covering them, and then when I was talking to somebody, I'd lift my arms up like this, and it would pull the shirt up above my nuts, and they'd go, "Yeah," and then we were, dude.
You and your friend just talked about how horrible that would be. I can't believe that. Somebody put that back to back.
What the fuck?
So you used to sexually assault. So you are Louis. You're Louis.
He essayed people to an extent that his manager had to intervene.
Like this, and it would pull the shirt up above my nuts, and they'd go, "Yeah," and then we were, dude. And so I brought Ian Bag a shot on stage and had my nuts out, and this club happened. It was in St. Charles, and it was attached.
You had your nuts out, sir. But really? You're taking your nuts out all the time? This was your ongoing bit? To show your balls? Like, really think about this. This man showing his balls. That's Louis. That's Louis.
I see no difference.
No difference. Worse.
I hope you have your
it was-
own website
this club
ready.
happened, it was
Yeah,
in
I
St.
hope you're
Charles.
ready to sell a $5 special on your mailing list. Big shot.
Charles, and it was attached to a hotel, and people would go there for vacation and then go to the show. And I went to check out the next day. That was on a Saturday. I went to check out on Sunday morning, and there was this huge line. I'm like, oh my God, this is a big line for Sunday. People were trying to get their rooms comped because they had heard one person did about my nuts.
So everybody was complaining at the comedy show about your nuts, and they wanted their rooms comped. They were so offended. Can we get eyewitness testimony from those people and write up a nice, juicy article about you and give it to every girl in the world? You're done. I have connections to the New York Times. Tell them this. Dude, tell them this. You know Jen Kirkman, who took down Louis C.K.? Oh, her and Mike are good friends. She's talking to the New York Times. No, she'll ask. She asked. Believe me. Be like, yeah, dude, they're writing up a thing together. They're submitting it to their person at the New York Times. They said they're interested in this ball story or something. You exposed yourself. Another comedian exposing himself. They're writing like a op-ed. A big piece. Just scare the hell out of him. You don't have to use Jen's name. Use, my name. So I can't believe you said this. You're kind of a complete psycho.
Because they had heard one person did about my nuts. And so then
Bert
Rick
doesn't even know what
Hewitt,
to
the
say.
owner of all the Zanies, called me and he's like, Chad, did you have your balls out on stage? And I'm like, yep. And he goes, man, this is not a great time for me. Can you just not do that anymore?
This is not a great time for me.
And I go, am I fired? And he goes, no, just keep your balls in your pants.
That was crazy. Like, when we did comedy, there were no rules.
And see how his girlfriend, why aren't you rolling your eyes? Why aren't you wincing at how fucking gross he is? You're just smiling as if this is normal. You're proud to be his girlfriend. So what's with you? What's with you that you're not going, God, I hate him. I hate his guts.
She's got secrets
Balls
of
in
her
your
own.
pants.
That was crazy. Like, when we did comedy, there were no rules. No cancel culture, no self.
Or are you just like you're trained, right? Like you've been through all this crap before. You just look
She's
ahead and
polite.
smile. Just look ahead and smile. Do we have another code for
that's
something's
probably
burning?
good for this.
Okay.
But actually, go to 2505. This isn't Chad related, but I feel like every Something's Burning has a Bert moment like this. So
Okay,
let's
a
enjoy
Bert moment.
it.
Let's see what happens. Okay, watch this. So Bert is pulling chicken. I couldn't get over this. So instead of taking 2 forks and pulling the chicken off the bone, he's making a chicken pot pie. It looked great. He's shredding the chicken with his hands, and he has been shredding the chicken with his bare hands for over a half hour because he's lost himself in conversation. So he's got this big bone-in rotisserie chicken, and he's just shredding while talking. But he finds himself, he'll be sitting there, and they're eyeing his hands. He starts just playing with the chicken, and he's talking and pulling and over-pulling and playing, and he forgets, and you could do this 2 seconds with a fork. But he decided to use his bare hands to pull all the chicken off the bone for this pot pie. I guess they're sitting there going, well, hopefully the pot pie is going to, the temperature, they're going to heat it up, and it's going to kill all the bacteria, okay? Watch this. Watch what he does as he pulls. You can see his hands are covered in chicken. By the way, there's not one moment of this show after pulling chicken for 40 minutes where Bert washes his hands. You will not find that. Bert pulls a whole chicken for 40 minutes and then continues on with all the chicken gunk on his hands throughout the entire episode without even wiping it on a towel. Watch this.
Isla, permission to share our experience with Shogun, and
what
then
he's doing.
if you don't want it, I can take it out.
So his nails, there's chicken under the nail. He's been doing this, and they've both, like I said, they've both been like giving the stink eye at it a few times and then looking, oh, everything's fine. You know what I mean? They're like watching him do it. They're going, we have to eat this. It's under his nail. I saw him pull out a piece of dark meat from under his nail and throw it in the good pile. Watch this.
Okay. So Isla is dyslexic, and most of Shogun's written in subtitles.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
in order
was
to watch
that it?
Shogun,
Yes.
So look at this. As he's pulling the chicken, he sneezes into his hand.
written in subtitles.
Yeah.
So,
A nice big sneeze on the hand. Does he immediately drop the chicken and go rinse? Let's see.
in order to watch Shogun.
Can we get a new chicken?
And
in order to watch Shogun,
Just hawk to
Leanne
it, our
had to read
chicken.
it out loud because
so they both call him out. Do we get a new chicken? He just hocked to it in the chicken, she says. Very funny if you're doing it like me. Bert just continues to pull more chicken with the hand he just sneezed in without missing a beat.
In order to watch Shogun,
Just hawk to
Leanne
it, our
had to read
chicken.
it out loud because Isla wouldn't let me read it out loud because I'd read it in an Asian accent. She'd be like, Dad, stop. And I'd be like, oh, it's Tokinawa.
So if Bert's not washing his hands, I mean, imagine getting your full hands up to the wrist covered in chicken for 40 minutes till the point where your fingers prune from chicken. Wouldn't you immediately want to wash those hands? Now, imagine you go a step further and then you keep doing it. So he ain't washing his hands after going to the bathroom. I'm sorry. This is enough proof. This is all the proof I need. So if he's doing that right in front of you, sneezing in his hands, playing with the chicken, and then you'll see after he's done pulling the chicken, he's touching everything. I can't imagine touching anything. I'd go, oh, sing, turn it on. And then I'd have Dawn detergent, not hand soap. Dawn detergent. We'd be scrubbing and getting the chicken out. Or we wouldn't have had this problem because I would have used a fork. And if I did use my hands, quickly throw on 2 little cooking gloves, vinyl gloves, do the shit, and then throw off the gloves. You're done. Not Bert. So he's probably picking his ass all day. He's probably picking his nose. He's probably, of course, he's taking a piss. He ain't washing those hands. If you don't wash your hands after pulling a chicken, you're not washing your hands after a quick pee. Probably not washing your hands after one of your 4 shits per day.
Someone says, he just doesn't know he should wash. That's the attitude I like.
That's 100% true. He does not know. Let's see what he does after the chicken.
And I was like, no, I'm just doing I'm acting. I'm an actor. That's what I'm doing. And so, but me, Georgia, Leanne, Isla, we were all watching Shogun. And if Leanne saw Isla.
That's what I mean. It goes on forever. Where does he finally stop with the chicken? Let's see.
Chicken's
The
been
full
raw
Sony.
dog.
There's nothing
These are not
left.
the first hands to touch this chicken. There's been a lot of hands touching this chicken.
That's why you have to really get in and break them into small pieces to get all the jizz off of it.
And you're going to eat it right up, Chad Daniels. So if it's so disgusting, why would you eat it like the beta bitch you are?
He probably has a podcast episode where he goes home right after this and is like, ew, that chicken was disgusting. If there weren't cameras on, I would have snatched that bird right after.
Yeah, but you ate it all. You ate Bert's shit chicken hands. And so did you. You gobbled down Bert's flesh. Watch this.
See, I'm going to crank this up.
So okay, so he just finished pulling the chicken. Watch this.
Break them into small pieces to get all the
Keep an eye
jizz
on his
off.
hands.
Let's see. I'm going to crank this up. I'm going to. I didn't even offer you guys a drink, but I know you guys probably
Okay,
are
that's a
drinking.
quick
but
look at
I
that.
drink. But if you do want a drink, I can make you a drink.
A
I'm looking at you
dry wipe?
exclusively.
A dry wipe of the chicken. That's it, just a dry wipe.
Because one time you made me fucking drink, and I wasn't going to drink. I was being so fucking healthy.
Wow, you did.
Toss.
Yeah. Oh, Columbus. I was thinking of Alabama. Oh.
Let's see what he touches next.
You were like, are you drinking? And I was like, no.
Touching
And you're like,
all the handles, touching all the drawers, touching all the silverware. So that's all infected now. Now, are they coming by and cleaning everything? Because nobody cleans fucking shit. Trust me. This world ain't nobody cleaning nothing. So everything you touch, assume the worst has been touching it.
Oh,
Well,
tonight was my day. I was going to drink with you. And
So
I
he
was
grabs
like,
the
all right,
knife.
What are we drinking? You're like, what are you
Grabs the
drinking? I was
knife
like,
here.
Fucking, I think we drank gin and tonics.
Yeah, so in a foolish move, I stopped drinking April 8th.
Come on, chill.
And I was going to take the whole summer off to see if I could do it.
So yeah, the knife handle covered in chicken. He's just touching everything. Bert Kreischer, everybody. They're really going after him. Okay, did we have one more Chad
Yes.
Daniels clip, if I'm remembering correctly?
Oh, yes.
Now, Chad Daniels is going to be with us. You haven't seen nothing yet. Watch his podcast if you dare. Jules is addicted. Thank God we have Jules. She's going to watch, so we don't have to. She hates Chad, do you know this? My wife, Jules, can't stand you. She hates you so much. She can't stop talking about you.
This one coming up is so good.
Okay.
This is my favorite type
Chad
of
Daniels,
guy.
Kelsey.
Yes.
So this is their podcast.
Hello.
And she really looks bad on their podcast. And they do this. How much? 2.9K views. 2 weeks ago, 2.9K. Most of those are Jules.
Yes.
Clicking and refreshing. This is how their podcast goes every week. It's at their shitty little apartment. She decides to wear no makeup and let everything sag and show you how gross that she really is. Sorry. Jesus. I mean, you do. Put on some fucking makeup. And if you are wearing makeup, put on more and cover your arms, suck in the gut, hold those things up. They're sagging downtown. And Chad always sits with a pillow over his balls, dick, and gut. We don't know why. We're trying to figure out. Every podcast episode, he sits there with that pillow over his gut. Let's see how they intro the beautiful show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Jason Bourne's girlfriend.
Oh,
H.
yeah,
Pearl Davis. They're calling her H.
If you're watching
Pearl
on
Davis
YouTube.
in the chat. H. Pearl Davis is what they're calling her in the chat. Pretty good. I didn't know she had this strawberry hair.
H. Pearl Davis is nice. Well, she just got a new hairdo.
H. Pearl Davis is way better than her. By the way, we are
Fans.
Davis heads. How do you do it? Her sign? Does she have a...
Just call me Jules Davis.
We love H. Pearl Davis. We can't get enough of her. If you're bothered by H. Pearl Davis, that's like getting trolled by Matan. That's like... really, it is. It's the same thing. If you don't get H. Pearl, you really don't get it. Okay, let's get a load of this.
Somebody cut off 8 inches of their hair and dyed it red. And it turns out if you go perform and talk about it, a lot of people think that something terribly wrong has happened in your life. I was in Baltimore over the weekend performing at Magoobies, and I walked on stage and a woman was like,
Watch what he says.
happened? And I was like, well.
So she's talking about her hair, and she's going, yeah, if you cut your hair, people think something terrible's happened. No, they don't. Especially when you only cut off, 3 inches? Nobody is looking at her going, oh, my God, she gave her hair a trim. Is something wrong? But she's thinking that we're going to think that.
A hairdo is a big deal. Every time I cut my hair super short, they always go, are you sure? As if it means that you're having a meltdown.
Oh, really? Is that what it means to girls? To cut off a few inches like this? Her hair was right here.
I'm
now
not
it's
saying
here.
it means that to me, but people act like that when you...
Maybe they act like that if you're fucking dating Chad Daniels. And they think something's up. Watch what Chad says about this, though.
Terribly wrong has happened in your life. I was in Baltimore over the weekend performing at Magoobies, and I walked on stage and a woman was
How
like,
disgusting
what
is he?
happened? And I was like, well, no death in the family. Just wanted a little change. But yeah, this is, I'm enjoying the change so far. I've just learned that I have to style it. I think girls, when their hair is long, you can be lazier about it and it will still look feminine, like if it's just down. Mm-hmm. But the shorter your hair gets, if you do nothing to it and you're not wearing makeup, for me, if it's straight, it gets a little like Professor Snape-ish.
Can I do a girl's
or
hair seg at the beginning of Redbar?
Yeah, that would be great. Do you think her hair looks good like this? Or do you think it looks...
She forgot to crimp the back.
When she turns, you see there's a big straight piece on the back like a complete fool.
But other than that, she looks great.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think your hair looks like boogers. Yep. Your hair reminds me of a bunch of boogers. And you look boogery all together. And you look like a
she looks
booger.
Great.
You have the same color hair as a booger. You both look like a couple of
his hair is
boogers.
green.
Yeah, your hair is green, sir. Greenish beige. Like a disgusting booger, which I had permanently removed. By the way, I go to the doctor once a year. I have it all permanently removed while I'm under, because that's how sick a booger is to me. Seriously. They're sitting on a pistachio couch. I just wanted to hear what Chad says about her haircut. Listen to this.
Quad, or just, there's lots of men with like a bob.
This was shocking to me.
That is not the look for me, but.
Well, no worries here. Huge change looks wise, and just waiting for that gym membership to show up in the mail. Anyways.
What? What does that mean?
I was just kidding.
Oh.
Normally when people make a huge change like that, it's, well, it's just because.
Wait, I don't understand. Sorry, I'm so...
Normally when a woman cuts her hair like this and
Yeah.
changes their look and goes to the gym a whole bunch, it's because they're fucking someone.
Oh. You're worried she's cheating on you? I can't believe you just said that during the opening. And look, she's actually getting mad worried. Look at this. I got to see this go down again.
Change like that, it's, well, it's just because.
Wait, I don't understand. Sorry,
Whoa! Right.
Normally when a woman cuts her hair like this and changes their look and goes to the gym a whole bunch, it's because they're fucking someone.
Oh, geez.
I'll get right to it. I try to
Did you see the face he makes? Watch when he says, I'll get right to it. Look at
a whole
this.
bunch, it's because they're fucking someone.
No.
Okay.
I got to get that face for you. Here we go.
Like this and changes their look and goes to the gym a whole bunch, it's because they're fucking someone.
Oh.
Whoa. I mean,
You don't have to stand for this, girl.
Get away from him. What are you doing? Are you tricked into thinking he's like a big time comic and you're like, you look up to him? He is not. He is the laughingstock of the comedy community.
She was telling this story on Bert's podcast where she was like, on our first date, he like wouldn't even speak to me or look at me. And I was like, are you having any fun? And he was like,
yeah. Are you having any fun in this relationship or you don't know any better? How could you possibly like him?
I don't know.
Watch this.
I'll get right to it. I try to skirt around these things and you're like, I twirl my hair, but I lost 8 inches of it.
Excuse me.
I truly did not understand.
I get it.
Well,
You're really worried that she's having an affair with you and she cut her hair and that's the sign she's having an affair?
I don't like it when a girl gets a haircut and a guy
That's
just
insane.
brushes it off. Like when I get a haircut, Mike is like planning my haircut almost. He's so into the haircut.
Oh, of course. Well, you gotta, she'll cut it all off. Like Ellen, who we like. She'll cut it all off if I'm not in charge.
Like Emma Chamberlain.
Like I'm a Chamberlain who farted in camera and also forgot to wipe. Emma Chamberlain forgot to wipe and then farted right into the lens last week. She's losing it. She's losing her touch. Okay.
We've had an interesting past week. Like I said, I was in Baltimore. I got to go to the Maryland State Fair, which was a sight to behold. I didn't realize how spoiled.
Oh, so you're racist, Baltimore, huh? You're talking about Baltimore? That must mean you're racist.
For the next 5 minutes, they talk about how amazing Chance the Rapper is.
Oh, do they really?
I care about that.
Maybe. Is it
Just
funny?
for once, I don't. I can't.
No, that's
me,
okay.
it
Give me
is.
another code. Give me another code.
Okay, so 0745. I think it's explain itself.
Okay, here we go. Chad Daniels.
It's not. It's.
I'm going to
So,
say this as
yeah.
concisely as possible, and it's going to make me sound even worse than I normally sound. But I'm smarter than a lot of people.
Oh, this is happening. So we've seen smarts guys here and there. We've heard Logan Paul talk about how he is a sapiosexual. He looks for intelligence, unlike most people. Chad Daniels is joining this sapio movement here. Listen to this.
Worse than I normally sound. But I'm smarter than a lot of people. And when they're being dumb and being fucks, it makes me mad. It's like, pick it up.
You're going to love this.
Pick up the pace. Make your decision faster. Do better. Right? I've talked about this. My therapist is always like, just remember, people are doing the best they can do with the tools that they have in that moment. It's like,
Oh, by the way, Chad Daniels has a wife and kid that left him after 17 years. Chad Daniels just got divorced, I think, last year. After 17 years of marriage, his wife left him. He has a kid, and then he shacked up with her in some apartment. So imagine, and he might have had a wife before that. But imagine what it would be. 17 years you're with someone, and you leave them after 17 years. Think about how crazy he must be if his wife had to leave him after 17 years. There's so much Daniels lore
I know.
He's such a bad guy, and I love that the comics are all propping him up now. We might see him around. We'll see. If Chad Daniels ain't around, I might not care as much. But if he thinks he's popping in, we're going to talk about that marriage. We're going to find out how that fell through. Every time I put on an episode of him, it's nonstop the crazy shit you'll hear. Listen to this.
These are your tools. This is your best. Then it's time to fucking say goodnight. Do the world a favor and be done with it.
Oh my God.
He knows
Why
it
can't
all.
you go full Japanese, end your bloodline? Just do it. It's taking so long. Fuck. Ah. So anyways,
Watch this.
I don't have an excuse. I was hoping for one too. I went in to get medication for ADHD and I came out with a full prescription of fucking ego pills. And it's not great.
Listen to this.
It's not great. Next time you see me, I might be wearing a fucking cape. These scores were ridiculous.
Scores. He's claiming, he's about to say this, that he went in to get prescribed to for Adderall at the age of 70 or whatever he is. That's insane. So he wanted drugs. Imagine your dad getting prescription to Adderall. How nuts that would be. You'd be like, Dad, what is going on? So he goes in to get an Adderall prescription and is claiming that without his knowledge, his doctor administered an IQ test. And he didn't know he was taking an IQ test. And when he left, his scores were so remarkable that now he left with, how he just calls them, ego pills. Listen to this tale. He's going to talk about it now, right? Here we go.
I might be wearing a fucking cape. These scores were
IQ test
ridiculous.
scores.
The reason Chad says that he is smarter than most people is because he has been clinically tested to be smarter than most people. We didn't know this going into the testing because the woman didn't tell him what each test was.
You don't remember answering 700 questions? You took a verbal IQ test that you didn't remember happening. You didn't know was happening. And you got scores that say you have a high IQ? I don't know. I don't know. Listen to this.
People. We didn't know this going into the testing because the woman didn't tell him what each test was. So she was giving him an IQ test in addition to the ADHD test. And
that's what he told you.
I don't even know if there were other tests too. But fucking Mensa over here, we already knew. It's like, okay, you tested a long time ago. We knew you were in Mensa. But you would say to me, you'd be like, oh, that was a long time ago. Who knows? I'm probably not as smart anymore or whatever. This motherfucker got in the 99th percentile of people for IQ.
Show the results. So you're one of the smartest people on Earth?
Yep.
Chad Daniels.
We're fucked.
The dumbest guy I've ever fucking met this season is also the smartest guy in the world. You're like Elon. So you must just have that Elon autism and you're a genius, right? Where's your rocket ship? All he has is a terrible Netflix special. So where's the genius going?
In the 99th percentile of people for IQ. Like actual Einstein level IQ. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. On one hand, it's so fucking hot to me. Like,
sure.
Ooh, I just love it so much.
And I think she knows this is bullshit, but she's so embarrassed of him that she has to say stuff like this. So people go, oh, well, she's with him. He's very smart, apparently. We don't see it, of course.
It's like,
but
you don't want that.
you don't want this, and that is not hot to
And
you.
he's not
These
gonna
are
let
excuses.
You forget it either.
Listen to this.
So fucking hot to me. Like,
It's not hot to you. This is a lie.
I just love it so much. And on the other hand, I'm like, you don't need that information. How am I ever going to win another fight in this relationship when the person I'm with is like, no, I actually know that statistically I'm smarter than you?
Well, two things. I'm not smarter
He's
than
a
you.
mansplainer,
You are
too.
smarter than me because I want to make something very clear. I scored high on this fucking one test. Who cares? This is a test.
On this one arbitrary test called the IQ test.
Yeah. But IQ doesn't.
He's almost Josh Denny. You know, when he looked up in the air here, I almost saw Denny in his face.
Test called the
Look.
IQ test.
Yeah.
That's almost a thin Denny. We got a new Denny, and he's rich.
But IQ doesn't translate to being smart. Like you have to. Here's the thing. Like I probably could read some stuff and figure it out.
Yeah.
And then that would
Do
make me
it.
smart. But I'm not going to read the stuff. I don't care about learning about stuff that I don't. I don't need to
that's
know all the
cool.
stuff.
That's hot.
It's just like whatever. So I do have an high IQ, but I'm not smart. And an example of that is when she handed me my paper, I thought I had an IQ of 191, but it was 161. I was holding it upside down. So I'm not smart. I'm actually pretty dumb with just a decent number.
You know, I've been prescribed every medication on this planet. I have never had a doctor sneak in an IQ test. I mean, if she did, wouldn't that take some time? Wouldn't you be like, what's going on here? What's with all these math questions? There's no way she gave you a verbal IQ test without you knowing. While you're trying to get prescribed to Adderall. There's just no way.
And he made up this whole fake story about how he thought it was 191 just so he could say the number because she wasn't going to bring it up.
Wow. Now, I want to see how that looks. Do we have a sheet of paper here? Let me draw my notebook. I just want to see if that even checks out, you know? So he's saying that it was 161?
He said, I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
She gave me the paper. I thought it said 191.
Yeah.
But it was actually 161.
Why would you read the paper like that? You know what I mean? Wasn't everything else upside down?
She
Why
just
would you
wrote
grab
the
the
number
paper?
on a little sheet of paper and slid it across the table?
It doesn't make sense. No, she like added it on top of what I'm guessing is a printed form with a bunch of other words. So why would you assume it was 191? Wouldn't you go, well, every other word is facing the other way, so.
He wanted to say the number.
Wow, look at this
He's got
sneaky
161.
fucking guy.
His brain was going, how do I make sure the number is said quick?
It's crazy. You know, I Googled who else has IQs of 160, and it's a fucking crazy list. It's like Stephen Hawking, Einstein.
Getting a little nervous there? Little nervous that you're up there with those guys? You've never invented anything. You'd be inventing nonstop if you were as smart as Albert G. Einstein. This is crazy.
Part like all of these people who like changed the world.
Right. And guess what I'm going to do with it? Not a fucking thing.
It's because it's a lie.
I used to be like, so let me get this straight. There's a bunch of scientists that are building golf clubs so nerds like me can hit it 5 yards further.
Yeah.
And there's
He
like
golfs.
all these.
That's an abuser's sport. We all know that. Aaron M. Holt, he's hit the links. I know there's a lot of good golfers out there. I don't know, though. Really, like, think about you. If you golf, haven't you done a bunch of bad stuff, too, where you think bad thoughts? Just be honest with yourself. You don't got to get mad. Think about, do you do a lot of mean stuff? I mean, I'd say maybe 1 out of every 10 golfers is an innocent, got caught up in the game. I don't know.
Why do you need so much quiet? Why do you have to clear
why
your
do you
mind,
need to be
walking
away
long
from really? I don't
stretches,
like it. This is
driving in the little cart.
guys who like to golf. I don't think they like their wives or their marriage very much. I don't know. That could be. I know that's pissing a lot of these tea timers off. But golf is sus to me. Tiger Woods, top golfer, top abuser. Aaron M. Holt, one of the best golfers in Minnesota. He's practicing his swing all around. Ellen was talking about this, practicing the invisible swing. Okay.
Scientists making Head and Shoulders shampoo, new and improved Head and Shoulders shampoo. It's like, why the fuck aren't they all? You should have to, like when I was in Singapore doing stand-up, we talked to this guy. It is mandatory that you do, it's mandarinatory that you do 2 years civil service, whether that is
well, you are not civil at all. Do we have another code here with these two?
What time are you at?
I am at Oh, wait. Hold on. I am at 11:59. It works better without these.
You can keep playing from here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Fighter, police officer,
CD,
armed forces.
Whoa.
That kind of stuff. And they get you from 18 to 20 when you're actually fucking healthy. Like the healthiest you're going to be, they want those people doing that.
Yeah.
And so you have to do it. It's like the public service that comes with being able to be alive in that country.
That's
And
kind of
so
awesome.
my question is, why? I used to think, why aren't these scientists being made to fucking for 2 years try to figure out cancer?
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
But instead they're working on golf clubs. It's like you went to school for 8 years to fucking figure out golf clubs.
Yeah.
But now guess what?
It's
I
called
have
money.
this huge number and I'm not going to do a fucking thing with it. I'm not going to learn anymore. I'm not going to try harder. I'm certainly not going to do anything. That
I mean,
those
this is your classic humble brag. Of course, you can't just walk around and go, I have the Giants' score. You know, he's got a little sense left, right? So he does the humble brag. This was very popular, 8 or 9 years ago, this humble brag. Remember this? This blew up. People talking about that, and he's killing it, and she must know. She's got to know, look at this. Again, it's trauma. What he's doing to her is the same as a kidnapping in my mind. Really? And I don't know why she can't get out of this. Why would you want to be with him in any shape or form?
people did. I'm just sitting here with a number. Who knows? She was texting her daughter. I might have fucking failed the test. I have no idea.
Oh my God.
Oh.
But it is, yeah, I'm not going to do the one thing I have in common with the three people you mentioned.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein.
Well, at least one of the people that you mentioned is that I would be able to move a wheelchair by blowing into a straw. It's like, I fucking can figure that out. 161, bitches.
How long has he been doing that one? How long has he been thinking about that? You know, these are remember, these are stand-up comedy. Oh, they're writing. They're writing everything. Cheating.
Go forward. And then I'd fucking suck it in to try to go backwards, and that isn't how it works, probably. I'd be like...
Just swallowing all your spit you just blew in
inhaling,
there.
Just choking on it, like, oh no, what's happening? So these tests are so dumb. I mean, you know who's smart by talking to them, and you know who's not by talking to them.
Right.
And so many times I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But anyways, I don't have ADHD. That's the point of all of this.
I know.
Is that she said, oh, well, there's
You
some...
know anything he lies to you about? That's amazing how you take all of his lies and assume they're fact and reality. Or maybe you don't, because I'm looking at you. You want
She's
out.
planning something.
We'll get you out. We'll help you out. Would you like a nice severance package from Redbar to get out? I'll give you $2,600 to get out. Just nothing. No strings attached. You dump him, $2,600. Wired to you immediately. How does that sound? That could be that's a nice chunk of change.
Some in the pre-questionnaire, you flagged some things that were ADHD, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like my feet move a lot when I watch movies.
Yeah.
But it's normally when music's on. So sorry, I fucking love music. And then there was one about like a lot of my teachers used to say not living up to his potential.
Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, yeah.
You can go to 1730.
1730. CD, and what's her name? Kelsey Keys?
Kelsey Keys.
What's her real name?
Kelsey Cook.
Kelsey Cook. Kelsey Cook. Got it. Thank you. Okay, let's see. And I really don't like the pillow over the boner or whatever you're doing. Do you even have... I bet he's got a little tiny fucking thing. You know? Little tiny schmendrick, a little tiny pinky with a bunch of freckles and a crink.
That means that there are 99% of other people who do not think like you think. And you're going to keep running into them, and it's going to keep frustrating you.
And I also think doing this complaining about everything, oh, you're taking too long in line, that's stealing from the people of Israel and is cultural appropriation.
Wow.
I don't think whites should do Jewish style.
No, yeah,
humor.
I don't like watching a Christian do Jewish humor. Yeah, that is kind of, cultural appropriation. Yeah. Don't do that. You got to stick to your vanilla, disgusting Christian takes.
Yep.
We don't want to hear you trying to be a cool Jewish person. Okay? Okay, let's see what he does here.
Don't move as fast as you don't.
Do I
think
need
as
any
fast as you-
hints for this one?
This is just... No, you'll get it.
I'll get it.
Even we just went golfing, and I was the first hole, and I was like trying to gather my things, and I was actually telling myself like, all right, try to move a little quickly because he gets cranky if it's like too much lollygagging.
He gets cranky at the mini golf course or the regular golf course?
I
If
think
it's
the
too much
regular this time.
lollygagging, he gets cranky. He gets
And he's
cranky,
not
and she
Jewish.
takes it. She puts her head down. Of course she's not Jewish. Look at his fucking boogery face.
Cranky.
Well, you get like
That's aggressive. I do get like, hey, chop chop. You know?
I don't get cranky. I do get, hey, chop chop. Imagine saying this to your wife. No wonder the other one left you after 17 fucking years. We're interviewing your kid. Next. Look at this. Cranky.
well, you get like
That's aggressive. I do get like, hey, chop chop. You don't need to
Snapping.
put the tee and the ball and your ball marker back in the bag from one green.
And this is how he talks to her. In front of people. With cameras. Can you believe that? Imagine how he must treat her.
the tee box.
Which
Like, I know you don't.
I don't. Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. But like if that happens, I'm like, why don't we keep it out?
right.
Why don't we not have to repeat this process 18 times?
For
so
sure.
that
yeah.
would drive me crazy.
Honey, my IQ. Honey, my IQ. Thank you. That's how he gets out of an argument. Hon, my IQ. Let's not go there unless you want to take a test. We could take an online test right now. It's up to you. I'm not going to make you, but my IQ. Watch it.
Yeah.
Sure. But I don't think I'm
Watch
cranky
it.
with you. But I go ahead.
He's Crowder. This is Crowder. Very Crowder-like. Did you see Crowder's wife is going around trying to hint that Crowder is
Yes.
actually gay? I'm not kidding.
Let me just read her tweet.
Yeah, read it real quick. Hillary Crowder has been talking in third person or eighth person, whatever different type of person than she is.
Her Twitter rules.
Hillary Crowder, day in and day out, is making these vague tweets, but they're all obviously about Stephen S. Crowder.
But the other day she said the logical conclusion that many of the loudest voices in the manosphere that hold such contempt for women are deeply closeted. They have very little, if any, attraction to women. Even if they never act on it, their true desire is to be with another man.
The loudest voices, like louder with Crowder.
Easter eggs.
Hillary says that he's a closeted homosexual, basically, which is what we all couldn't
And
even believe.
that didn't really get that much attention. And
That's
all
crazy.
of the people in the replies
Say that one
were-
more time, because I think that's worth hearing again.
The logical conclusion is that many of the loudest voices in the manosphere that hold such contempt for women are deeply closeted. They have very little, if any, attraction to women. Even if they never act on it, their true desire is to be with another man.
That's Stephen Crowder's wife.
Yes.
How many likes?
Only 491
That's
when
a
I
lot
did
of
this
likes for a
screenshot.
wife. That's a lot of likes for a wife.
But everyone in her replies were like, yeah, I don't know, that could be true in some cases, but I don't think
Well,
definitely. And it's like, she's
talking about Crowder.
Duh.
So confirmed Crowder is gay. It's either that or its wife is Matan level, which I can't see.
I'll let you tell the story and then I will rebut it.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Can't wait. But I even
Keep listening
have
here.
in mind that you don't like things to drag, and so I was like quickly trying to grab my ball, my tee, my stuff, because it's the first hole, so I don't like have it out yet. And you're like, hey, I don't remember. Like, your sweet
Don't
face.
touch him.
I don't remember exactly what you said,
Let's
but
touch.
it was like, hey, like, are we golfing or are we listening to music? Because there's gonna be people behind us. And I was
You
like,
did put music on, and you were dancing while you were doing all the stuff.
let's put an asterisk.
Okay,
next
that's
to
why I
dance.
put
I was
this in
maybe just
because, okay, you can rush someone. Maybe your stupid wife is being slow.
Yeah.
But to tell someone to not dance, that's cool.
To not dance at the golf course? It's a bizarre place to not
Turn
dance.
on
I
music
tell her
and
to not dance all the time. Please do not dance. I understand,
I don't
but
think
not
you
at the
would do
golf course.
that.
No. Is there any more to that?
I was bopping. I was just grabbing.
Okay, but that's dancing to me. So, and you have to trust me because I have a high IQ. So that's dancing.
See? I'm like,
I know.
He's not
I'm
kidding.
obviously just
Damn
kidding.
it, I know.
And I want to
You're not.
reiterate one more time, just in case you stepped away while we started this conversation. I know a high IQ and these dumb fucking tests
Brother.
do not mean you're smart.
Brother.
So many times I'm dumb, and so many times I'm dumb, and people will say to me, they'll say like, hey man, maybe don't juggle those bricks by that glass thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just was juggling because I thought I could juggle. And then I go, I shouldn't do that. And so when I have that feeling, I think maybe when I say something, the people are going to be like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, so
Okay, you can go to
were-
2220.
Wow, he is terrible, huh? And it doesn't stop. I mean, any part of this show you put
it
on
would be.
is like
you could
this.
get lost in him.
Do I
real
need to know
easy.
anything about this clip?
Just play it.
Okay.
my God.
I know. I did say when I was like, there's going to be no living with me. She was giving me these results and being like, I've been doing this for 35 years and I've never seen a 20 and you got 3 of them. And I'm like, well, there's some fucking lucky guesses in there then.
No.
Because I didn't leave this thing thinking like, nailed it.
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course, you wouldn't leave it thinking nailed it if you didn't know the secret test was happening.
Yeah.
Because you thought it was just an ADHD
Leave this thing? What do you mean
test.
leave this thing? So
So
now
you
you're
did know
kind of
about the IQ test.
look at this. There was no IQ test. It never happened. He's been lying about his IQ his whole life, and he's come up with a few little cover stories that he's thought about 1,000 times in that shower while washing that little fucking nothing of a nub. And he's concocted these lies. We spoke with his doctor. Okay, we reached out. It's very easy to do. She said, absolutely not. I would never give him that test. I hate him. She said, I hate his guts. Okay, let's hear.
Is in there then.
No.
Because I didn't leave this thing thinking like, nailed it.
Yeah, because you said you didn't know there was an IQ test. I mean, that's really bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, I left
He
it
knew.
knowing that it took longer than normal.
Yeah.
But I just I
Normal
just don't
than
fucking
what?
care.
For an
I just
IQ test
I
or
really
an
would.
ADHD test?
I thought you said you did not know you were getting an IQ test, and she gave you the results at the end. Surprise! I did an IQ test on you. You didn't know.
so
you were
he
here.
asked for an IQ test so because he knew he had.
Remember
a high
when
IQ
you were
from
here for
before.
3 hours with a number 2 pencil silently doing the test? No? There was no
he
test.
told her because she was the one who said the doctor snuck in these questions mixed in with the ADHD test. So he probably
Yeah.
told her that because he didn't want her to know he's secretly requesting tests
Oh,
behind
well,
her back.
he could
so
be no,
can
because if he
show
was
her up.
requesting the test, then he could have gotten that score. There's no way he got the score. And the ADHD doctor, I could be wrong. I don't think they do those tests. And I don't think that they're qualified or accredited to give you any type of score. It's the doctor's score, whatever she picked. You didn't run this through the Scantron. I mean, this has to be done through Scantron. I'm sorry. The online test, not real. The verbal test, not real. If you're not filling in with number 2 pencil and sending it off to the lab, where I'm assuming the machinery to do a Scantron must be huge, it must take up this whole room, then you're not taking no test. That thing needs to go through extensive scans of the Scantron, which
Exactly.
very expensive machine, and only the government has access to those machines.
You must have a
They
high
take up
IQ.
huge machines. They take a lot of power to produce those.
Would have rather they go, oh, you have ADHD. So then
Well-
I can know what to do instead of just be like, Well, I will tell you, I like who I am.
Ooh,
I'm going to tell you that.
Danny.
That
That's
I
great.
do like who I am, and I don't think...
I mean, look at her. Are you not sick to your stomach? How are you not sick? Listening to especially how embarrassing would it be to watch your partner say shit like this? Wouldn't you be like, oh, God, I hope no one I know is watching. I'm humiliated. Aren't you sick? You like who you are after being divorced, left after 17 years? I'm sorry. You should say, I want to like who I am, but obviously there's some big problems.
I think that I'm necessarily, the asshole that sometimes I'm portrayed to be. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, out in the world.
So you're always portrayed as the asshole? Interesting. Wonder why. So listen to this. So everybody's thinking he's an asshole.
The asshole that sometimes I'm portrayed to be. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, out in the world. Where it's like, I think I'm just being logical.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah. That is the I don't want an argument agreement tone.
Whoa.
Yep, let's anyways, I have a story. Yeah, no, I've been there and I get it. I just don't know what to make of it. And I don't know, if they say you have ADHD, then you go,
Anyways,
all right,
he's
well,
a big
here's a
show
list.
off. Want to hear a more visceral tale? Go to 3055. I can't stop thinking about this.
Okay, let's hear it.
Thing is, like, for a while we were kind of like, oh, he's so
She's on a
like
flight.
unusual for a flight attendant.
She's
in
on a
this
flight.
story.
Great. I love a flight. I'm a big airplane guy. You should have seen me on the plane. It was horrible. But big airplane guy. I understand airplane humor now. I was on the road one day of the year, and wow, I had a whole routine about the airport. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe my treatment
You guys
at the
should have
airport.
heard it. It was
You should have
great.
heard it.
This is kind of fun, but then this is where things took a turn for me. So I poop on the plane sometimes.
Okay, I can't believe you just said this.
This is for you.
This is
babe.
really now. This is all coming back to me. She's talking about
Place
airplanes.
yourself in the Harkins Theater.
And she just said, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know my stance on this, you go to the restroom before your shower, one time a day, tops. You go to the restroom while the shower is on. You finish what you do there. You completely remove the remnants. Then you get in the shower and you, with a disinfectant cleaner, clean everything up. And that is the only time you are to waste. You don't go shit at the mall. You don't shit at a restaurant. You don't shit while you're out at the movies. You don't shit outside your house unless you've been poisoned. And you have not been poisoned.
And you'd
I
think someone as
have
strict
eaten
as Chad with
every
people's
meal.
behavior would agree.
You know, I don't like these people going, hey, I had Taco Bell. What am I? I have Taco Bell every 5 minutes of the day. Hey, I went to Chili's. No. You have a bug. Something is wrong, and you need to go home. But they're stinking up. They're gassing up the room. I walk into a men's bathroom. I can't even go to a men's bathroom to grab a paper towel to wash my hands. You walk in.
You got to tell them about the club we went to in Calgary.
Oh, my God. You walk into a men's bathroom in a warmth. And we're so used to I shouldn't say me. I am not used to this. You're so used to this warmth of every other man's waste that you just casually walk around. You're talking, you're breathing in the air. Not me. I have really drawn a line. Like Eminem in the sand. You're either on one side of it or not. We were in Calgary. The name of the club, Commonwealth. It's a nightclub that she used to go to as a teen. Okay.
I was taking him on a teen tour of all my hotspots.
She wanted to see, let's see how this nightclub is that I used to go to when I was 20. So we go to this night, and by the way, in Canada, 18. You could drink at 18, so you're out going to clubs at 18. So we go to the Commonwealth Club. And boy, is this place a disaster. You had to wait in a line. You had to pay, what was it, 20 bucks, 15 bucks a person to get in. You got in. The music's terrible. The bar's terrible. The people are terrible. You could see all the young men on the hunt. Those disgusting men. Very, very dark. We go there. I go, I'm going to go to the bathroom to take a pee. And I go, oh, this is going to be a nightmare because there's probably going to be one stall. It's a nightclub bathroom. There's probably going to be some guy in it. And then I'm going to have to wait in the bathroom or go in and walk out. Usually if I see the stall is taken, I just walk right out and I wait. I walk in. There's 3 stalls. Okay, good. I open stall door number 1. Diarrhea and shit everywhere, all over the seat, all over the floor. I slam it. I then kick open the other 2 doors. I'm not kidding. Covered in diarrhea. I was cursing the room out. There were like 10 other guys in there just laughing it up, hanging out. I was furious. I wanted to tell everyone. I was walking outside going, have you seen the bathroom? Have you seen? So I go on their Insta. We leave immediately. And I'm yelling at all the security. I go, somebody got to clean the bathroom. Now, the club had just opened.
Everybody else here is 18.
The club, what time?
10:30.
10:30.
So early.
So the club has only,
early.
listen to this. It's Friday night, right? Saturday night?
Something like that.
The club has only been open for 2.5 hours. So how in 2.5 hours did the entire I'm talking Gabrini Green Candyman, diarrhea and shit overflowing like toilets filled to the brim of shit and spilling over and no one saying a word. And this is in Canada. And I'm like about to throw up and I'm running out and I'm like, how could they not clean this? Seems like this should be shut down. So what I'm thinking is those toilets have been like that since last weekend. So I go on their Instagram and I call them out. I leave a Google review. I leave, I think, a Yelp review. I go on their Instagram. I write this long thing up. They deleted my comment immediately. I sent an email to the club. I messaged them on Instagram as well with my long rant about their bathrooms. All deleted, no response. They don't care. They're trying to cover it up. This is Commonwealth. Everyone go to their Instagram and talk about the shit all over the bathrooms. Nonstop. I couldn't believe it. I was really more offended.
The Boudoir Rouge, our favorite strip club bathrooms.
Spotless, like a whistle. So
licked the floor.
This shitting in public thing, to me, it's like a hate crime level thing. I mean, worse than this is a sexual assault to people, and we really need to grow out of this. We need to fix this. This cannot be happening. I don't think public bathrooms should have a place where you could shit. You take a pee or you get out. That's it. If you need to shit, call an ambulance. Listen to what Chad Daniels' girlfriend, Kelsey Cook, does on airplanes. Watch this.
So I poop on the plane sometimes.
Nope. Time out. Edit it all the time.
What the fuck? Every time she's on a flight, she takes a living shit.
I literally had to show you this because for 2 weeks I've been going, I gotta go take a Miss Daniels.
A Miss Daniels, yeah, that's what you could call it. I'll be back. I'm taking a Miss Daniels. So this is all really disgusting. I mean, I don't have to explain this to you. God forbid, and people got to sit by that. The door is opening. We're smelling the smell. Listen to this story.
The plane sometimes.
Nope. Time out. Edit it all the time. I've never been on a flight with you where you haven't shit.
Unreal. And they're working comics.
And we've been on the flights where they go, just so you know, due to the short duration of our flight, we're not going to be able to come around with a beverage and snack service.
I mean, you should be fined. Fined. This wasn't an emergency. You're holding it in till you get there, and then you make people wait. People want to go in and out of this bathroom. There's usually only one or two. So you're creating a line while you go in there and take turds?
And you can't, I'm sorry, the airplane bathroom toilet paper is insufficient for taking them at Daniels.
It's all insufficient. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Listen to
Peaches.
this.
If you want a water, please ring your flight attendant call button and we'll bring one to you. Right? That's how short the flight is. And she's like, well, got a shit.
Catch me in the bathroom for about 20 minutes of this 40-minute flight. I think like pooping on planes and reclining your seat on planes are things that people feel very strongly about one way or another.
Can I tell you how I feel about it?
Listen to this.
If they didn't want you to recline, they wouldn't put recliners. And if they didn't want you to shit, they wouldn't have a toilet.
Wow. So he's reclining his seat, giving the guy behind him this much room, and he ain't flying no first. If someone flies first, they tell you about it. So you're in coach, you're reclining the chair, you're given this much, and then your wife is out there stinking up the bathroom to high hell? You guys don't respect society. And then they high five over both their complete asshole behavior.
Recline, they wouldn't put recliners. And if they didn't want you to shit, they wouldn't have a toilet.
You know what? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I agree.
Unbelievable.
Do I think you should slam your seat back right after somebody's like been given a drink or something? Like, no, just be aware about it. But if you need to sleep,
okay, you can go to 3240.
Tilt your seat back 3 inches.
Right. Do you go back super slowly, letting them go, oh, this seat's coming towards me. I need to move my laptop screen closer to me to match the angle of where the seat will be instead of having it catch and shatter my screen.
100%.
If you're sitting in the front of the plane, you don't need to recline it. I forget that even exists because it's such a pain in the ass with all the commotion it causes. You sit there, you curl up, you close your eyes, and you agonize. You don't recline. Not on a plane. I used to be a recliner. I didn't even know that was an issue back in the day. I never even knew. I never even thought about the person behind me. Why would I? Now I don't even have the guts. I don't have the guts. I mean, imagine the seat coming back to your nose like that. How do you have the guts to do that to another human being who's also in hell? All right, how do we jump ahead here to her?
3240.
3240. She's going to continue her story, right? Listen to this.
Behind you.
Yeah,
this is bad.
Exactly. So,
Go ahead.
Who knows? But anyway, it's not like I want to poop on planes, but you guys know I have IBS, and something happens when I'm 30,000 feet in the sky. I'm kind of surprised that everybody doesn't have to run to shit.
So your girlfriend has IBS and is always covered in shit, and you're eating her out and there's shit all over her? It's disgusting. No wonder you're with Chad Daniels. Okay, so you have IBS. So now this makes complete sense why you're with him. You can't be with anybody. Yeah, you look ghostly like you've been shitting all fucking day. That's disgusting. You should have kept that to yourself. It's vulgar.
Pressure cooking your
I'll agree.
bowels.
If you've ever had a big water bottle on a plane, when you're going up and down, it scrunches.
Yes.
And that's probably what happens to us. At that point, you go, nope. Hey, adjust the pressure in the cabin, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Keep your little vodka bottle.
So if this happens all the time, why don't you go, okay, I'm not going to eat before I go on the plane. I'm going to make sure I get it all out in the morning. I'm going to take some stomach aid. I'm not going to eat anything that's going to trigger that because I don't want to put everybody else in this situation. No? None of that? You can't do any of that, huh?
And hit the adjust the pressure button up there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can understand why you have to shit.
There's no pressure situation on a plane.
I know.
Sorry.
I think you are able to hold it and just be like, I would feel more comfortable pooping somewhere else. For me, it's like, if I have to, I have to go.
Gotcha.
Or else I feel ill.
Sure.
And uncomfortable.
Then feel ill, bitch. So everyone else should feel ill because you want to have a pleasure shit? It's disgusting.
I hate it. So
listen to this.
I go to the bathroom. I have to do some business. And so does it take 30 seconds? No. But I don't take forever in there, but it was like longer than a pee.
What's an exact time, do you think?
I want to say maybe 4 minutes.
4?
4 minutes. Okay. It's a long time. So that's probably 10.
I come out of the bathroom and that flight attendant is sitting in his seat right outside the bathroom And he says loudly to the entire front part of the plane, "Ooh."
Yeah, and thank you. They should say that louder. Did you see that? You know how the man was sitting right outside the bathroom because there's no other fucking seat on the plane because they're so greedy? He has to smell all your feces all day. And yeah, what should he do? Plug his nose and close his eyes as tight as they go? You were so nasty and rank that he went, woo, woo, woo. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It was so unprofessional. I couldn't help it. It was involuntary. She's so gross. And so is Chad. Watch this.
Part of the plane. Ooh.
Deserved.
I was so in shock.
I love him.
He was so loud. And instantly a million things went through my brain. It's like,
what kind of a girl's shit even has a smell to it? I mean, that's insane. What kind of loads are you dropping? I mean, I didn't even know that was possible.
Do you say something to him? But also, I don't want to get kicked off Delta flights or something if he considers anything I say to him to be confronting a flight. I don't know, whatever the legal things are. And I just was so embarrassed that I, like Charlie Brown, walked with my head down to my seat as fast as I could, sat in my seat, and immediately opened the book I was reading and buried my face in it as if I was on the clock for reading this certain page. I was mortified.
And the woman next to you starts talking to you. Wah, 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 wah.
No.
Yeah, I could not believe he did that. And then, I don't know, 20 minutes go by. The woman next to me gets up to use the bathroom. She also, I don't know if she was pooping or not, but she took longer than 30 seconds. She comes out. He does it to her. Oh,
that was an add-on.
That's an add-on.
He just did it to you.
That didn't happen. He only did it to you.
Okay, well.
Only did it to you. What do you think? He's doing this all day? What is he, a black blind man? Oh, like D-Madness?
If we know Chad, we know that he loves to own a guy after the fact.
Yes.
So go to 3600.
He loves an after own. 3600. So he likes to talk about what he would have done. This is an old oathy swearing talk show bit called Would Have Done. Okay, watch this.
And so, anyway, I'd never had anything like that happen. I called you and told you, and you were like, yeah, I am surprised you didn't say something. I don't know what I would have done. So I don't know, have you thought about that since then and had those moments where you're in the shower picturing if I was in that position or what? Do you know what you would say?
Well, I love a childish, you know, that any time I have an opportunity to go middle school,
yes,
I will.
Yes.
So I think a good one there is something like,
cool.
Whoa, nature versus nurture is real. I don't know which one it is, but it has to be
this
one
is what
of
he
them.
would have said to the flight attendant?
Yes. Wait, go back.
So
You gotta
Chad
hear
is,
the whole thing.
listen to this. So Chad is fantasizing on, she goes, what would you have done? And he has a whole scenario ready to go. Listen to this.
Thing like, whoa, nature versus nurture is real. I don't know which one it is, but it has to be one of them because that's the same noise your mom made when I shit in her bathroom after I fucked her.
So as you can see, Ryan Reynolds over here has it all figured out, doesn't he? What do they call him? Venom? What does Ryan Reynolds play all the time?
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Okay, Deadpool. That was slick. Oh, yeah, you would have. That's what he would have done.
He
Chad
probably would've
Daniels.
started
Yeah, oh,
crying
yeah.
if you said that.
Oh, he's a regular sitcom actor. His whole world is a movie. Let me hear the
Nurture is real. I don't know which one it is, but it has to be one of them because that's the same noise your mom made when I shit in her bathroom after I fucked her.
You would say that to a human being on a Delta flight? I didn't even hear that end part the first time. After I fucked your mom? You'd get thrown off the
You
plane.
would shit in his mom's bathroom and she went, woo, you're still the loser in that scenario.
Yes, you're a complete loser. Was that it for his fantasy there?
Yes, that's the big finale. Oh, but you could go to 4429 for the last straw.
Okay, the last straw. Do I need to know anything about this?
No.
I don't like rice just because it fills me up. Like, I'm a sashimi guy.
That's all.
Wow. Listen to that. They're talking sushi. He's more of a sashimi guy. He doesn't like rice. Does everybody... We're nigiri people. So, of course, listen to this.
Rice just because it fills me up. Like, I'm a sashimi guy.
I can't with this guy. That was
I
the
would
final.
rather have, like, when I go to Chipotle, I just get a little, they go white or brown rice, and I say just a half scoop of brown.
Yeah, he's
just to get it started.
really anti-rice.
I get both beans, I get double meat, all the salsas, some guacamole.
But you're carrying that over to nigiris, which go perfectly with that little bed of rice? How many of these things do you need to eat where the rice is filling you up from the nigiri that you go, I'll just take the stupid piece of sliced fish that isn't even there's no preparation of that. Just cutting the fish and giving it to me. I can't stomach sashimi. I can't get it down. I go, really good. It's thick. Nigiri. Oh, give me more. If I don't have that rice on the sushi, get me out of Chinatown. Was that it for him
That's
today?
the last
Chad
straw.
Daniels, everybody.
That was just an introduction to the man.
Let us know what happens. Let Chad know that we know, that I know that we're watching him. Chad, you're officially on what's called Fool's Notice here at Red. Congratulations. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Another hit show, Jules. Good night.